And good morning.
Good morning.
And it is a great
morning here in Hawaii and a great day in America. On behalf of all of us in the Pacific Command, the Pacific Fleet, and the citizens of Hawaii, it's my privilege to welcome the return of this courageous air crew. We're all very proud of you for the way that you've conducted yourself these past 2 weeks and for the high spirit and professionalism you demonstrate in the service of your country every day. We're lucky to have men and women like you protecting the interests of our nation. So it's wonderful for me to have the pleasure to say both welcome back and well done for this great crew. I've got a letter here from our Secretary of Defense that I'd like to read, and it starts, "Welcome home. The men and women of the Department of Defense are properly proud of each of you. Throughout your days in detention, you conducted yourselves with honor and professionalism and held your heads high. America could not have had better representatives of the ideals we value. Your models for the noble work that men and women in uniform perform on behalf of their nation every day. You put your lives at risk in the service that the citizens of a grateful nation may live their lives in peace and freedom. The President is grateful. I am grateful. America is grateful. And we welcome you back to the United States. May your reunion with family and loved ones be a joyous one indeed." And it's signed, Donald Rumsfeld. This will be a short but busy stop for you in Hawaii
as you
as you
complete
your mission. We know you're anxious to see your families, and President Bush has said we'll get you home before Easter, and we know how to make that happen. So now let me turn this over to Lieutenant Shane Osborne, the pilot and mission commander, for some short comments before we get on with getting you home. Okay?
Thank you.
The first thing I'd like to say on behalf of the crew is we're definitely glad to be back. Secondly, I want to assure all the families and loved ones of these 23 flying crew members that they miss them very much. They're all healthy and ready to get home. I'd like to thank everybody's support all over. We didn't hear much about it at first, but I'd like to thank the support for these past 12 days. It definitely helps.
Now that we're back, we obviously have some business we need to take care of. We need to be debriefed and briefed on the situation so we can get home to our families for Easter. With that note, I'd like to start that process now so we can get home. And on behalf of Combat Reconnaissance Crew 1, I'd like to thank you once again, and God bless America.
Okay, we're going to give you some...
I don't know anything about that. You can get everybody to open music.
And now, Shane Osborne getting
So we heard from that pilot about whom we've heard so much in these past 11 days, the pilot that brought down a crippled aircraft after a mid-air collision with a Chinese fighter, Shane Osborne, Lieutenant Shane Osborne, who kept a stiff upper lip just up until the end there, where the emotions began to overpower him a bit. Hard to understand how it couldn't happen. And our Trace Gallagher's been following these events. Trace, we're going to hear all the anthems here.
We're going to hear a few of them, David. I mean, this is a big deal here. You saw the expected, of course, Commander Thomas Fargo, Admiral Thomas Fargo, the commander of the Pacific Fleet, reading Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense's letter, saying, you put your lives at risk for a great nation. The president's grateful, America's grateful, and enjoy your reunion. And then, of course, Lieutenant Shane Osborne coming out saying, very briefly, thanks for the support. We want to get back to see our families, start this debriefing process. God bless America. And he was off, and the band played on.
Now, Trace, as you had mentioned, Hickam Air Force Base, no stranger to ceremonies such as this. A lot of folks have come back, including POWs from the Vietnam War and members of the Apollo 13 crew and such. No matter what the conditions of the homecoming, it always pulls at the heartstrings.
Boy, and they did this well, David. You got to give them credit. I mean, the plane landed on time. It almost hit its mark when it came from the runway to the tarmac. They opened the doors. They came down. They said it would last no more than 15 minutes, and by my clock, it lasted even less than that. So as far as getting this thing out, getting America to see their crew members back home, and getting it over with, it was, if nothing else, precise.
Let's go back to Poplar Grove, Illinois, where we began to see some insets from Pat Hedlund, whose son Jeremy was on board there. Pat, first of all, did you recognize your son?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Can you rest a little easier now? Is some of the tension off?
Yes, a lot is off.
Did you give a big sigh when you saw him finally there?
Oh, yeah. Once the plane was coming in, then I knew they were here.
There's nothing like a live shot. You had seen still shots of him before, but there's nothing like a live shot to reassure you, to let you know that he's home safe and sound.
Yes. And that's the first time I actually got to see him salute, so that was really fun for me.
You suggested that he's a kind of a playful nature and that he might pull some trick. I was wondering, as I was watching you in one of these side cameras, and you didn't see him come out. I was wondering if you thought, well, maybe he's tricking me. He's going to stay behind for a couple of minutes just to fool me.
Oh, I was hoping he would do something, but I didn't see if he did anything off the plane. But that would be his nature.
Yeah. Let's just go back for 1 second. They're making an announcement down at Hickam. Oh, I guess it was just an announcement that the official welcoming ceremonies were finished. But it was a very, it's a celebratory event, but at the same time, a lot of solemn nature to it because of exactly what that crew had been through.
Yes.
Now, they had been treated well. We